Heads up. If you have kids around,
Parental advisory is in effect.
This is the Bone is Bone podcast with Lamont and Tonelli.
It's like water torture.
Baby Huey.
Chasta.
Welcome back, friends, to the Bonus Bone podcast.
Whoop, whoop.
Chasta, Lamont is back, as you can hear. Tonelli and Baby Huey. So
I have ended my ban of being photographed on this.
That's right. Go to the YouTube account. You can
Because they
see.
didn't like the last time when I started doing hand signals.
You're off
Yes.
double secret probation.
Yes.
Double secret probation, at least for
now.
For now, yeah.
Right.
So Lamont wasn't on the podcast last week, and I told the story that I forgot a key component to the story.
Okay.
And it involves a brush with fame.
Right.
So if you weren't listening last week, and Lamont will kind of catch you up here.
Yeah.
So last week we talked about bad neighbors, and I was referencing the 4 dogs in my apartment, which
You
Tonelli
are a bad neighbor.
Just
4 dogs in an apartment.
really just piled on about that. But whenever Gianna, who is my best friend, yes, Gianna from Channel 5, I'm sure she'll love that I let you know about that. So she was my roommate, and she reminded me that whenever we moved out,
Yep.
of all people, Carol Burnett came to look at the apartment.
How could you forget
I
that
don't
part of the
know.
story? Carol Burnett comes to your apartment.
I know, and I forgot it because I wasn't there.
Yeah.
I was out of town, and so Gianna had to show the apartment to Carol. She was going to rent it for her daughter, and so they were looking at some of the furniture, and so Carol, was kind of got down on the ground or whatever to look at the kitchen table, I think it was, and she got covered in fur. And Gianna,
4 dogs.
4 dogs. Gianna panicked because she's like, "Holy shit! Carol Burnett is covered in fur. What do I do?" And so she just let her walk out the door,
Covered in dog fur.
So you try to pat her on the back,
I
thank
know,
you
we're
for
like,
coming.
Yeah, get awkward as you're trying to brush it off of her leg and butt. But anyways, it didn't matter, I guess, because Carol Burnett's daughter did, in fact, end up in our apartment after we left. But
That's even a more important part of the story, that you rented
Right?
to Carol Burnett and her
pretty crazy.
daughter.
Pretty crazy. Isn't
That
it?
is
Yeah.
crazy.
So anyway, that got us to talk. I texted you all in our group text chain.
And I said, holy shit, I've got a Carol Burnett story too.
I can't believe
What are the odds?
I can't believe you're going to tell this
And I
story.
will tell you, this is, and I don't know the month, I believe it's either September or October 1988.
How do you remember that?
And I'll tell you how I remember this. I went on vacation. I took my then girlfriend on vacation to California. And we landed in LA and drove all the way up to San Francisco. And when I was in San Francisco, I said, God, I'd love to work in that place, in the Bay Area.
Wow.
So it was that trip that kind of resulted in me moving to the Bay Area. But my Carol Burnett story started in Los Angeles because we spent a couple days in LA, and you would see in the Inquirer and all those friggin' rags that where the celebrities would have dinner. And I said, hey, let's do something goofy. And Wolfgang Puck was very, very big at the time. He was always on Letterman and on The Tonight Show. And he had that restaurant in L.A. called Spago's, and it was on Sunset Boulevard.
Oh, yeah.
Right?
I know
And that
exactly
was
where it's
a
at.
world-famous fucking restaurant.
Yeah.
So we went out for dinner. We stayed on Sunset Strip, and we basically walked a couple of blocks down. And this also has another celebrity story on it, too, because I stayed at the hotel where, whatchamacallit, Big Bamboo, Little Richard.
Is this the same trip where you met Little Richard?
Yes,
you
Little
met Carol
Richard
Burnett
tried
on the same
picking
trip?
me up
All
on
of
that
this
trip.
all of
He
this
That's a
stayed in
great
the next
story,
room
too.
to me. This is California, folks.
Wow.
So I ended up walking down to Spago's with my girlfriend.
Yeah.
And when I was at Spago's, something just didn't sit right. I don't know if it was like the food was kind of rich for me, that my stomach kind of went, right? And I'm sitting there and I go, I really got to go to the restroom. Now, if you've ever been to Spago's, I don't even know if that restaurant's still open,
I don't either.
quite
I have to
honestly.
Look this up.
So if you've ever been there, it was kind of like the way they fashioned it, it was kind of like a bigger home on Sunset Strip. And the restrooms were just like, there were 2 restrooms to go to, but they were regular restrooms. It wasn't men or women. It was just, if you went there, you went to this friggin', it was like a home bathroom when you were there.
I'm looking at it right now. Yeah,
Okay.
it's still open.
Okay, so it's just two regular bathrooms. And I'm standing there, and both bathrooms, there's someone in the bathroom.
Of course.
And I'm standing there going, oh, fuck me. I'm going to, I might shart as I stand here waiting to go to the bathroom. I had pressure, okay? And all of a sudden, the door opens up to the bathroom. And out walks Carol fucking Burnett, who I've watched all my life.
Oh, yeah.
Right? Now, what are
Absolutely.
the odds as I'm going to take a dump that Carol Burnett is the one walking out of the bathroom?
Welcome to LA.
So I go, hey, how's it going? Right? She looks at me like I'm a weirdo. I go walking into the bathroom, and when I walked in there, God almighty, it was the worst fucking smell ever. She must have been rotten inside. It was the stinkiest fucking shit smell in the history of shit smells.
Oh, God.
Carol Burnett left a fucking huge fucking smell of shit in the bathroom.
So does this lead to why you won't use public restrooms very often?
One
unless
of
you
the
absolutely
reasons.
have to? I mean,
So-
I get it.
So it could have gagged a fucking maggot. It was that bad, right? So I walked in, but I still had to go. But now I'm not worried because I figured, fuck, whatever happens, it wasn't me,
You're
right?
just going to blame it on Carol
So
Burnett.
I take a fucking shit and I walk out, and now people are waiting to get in as well as I walk out. And I know how bad it smells because it's double shitting going in there now. And I walk in like this, hey, it wasn't me. I followed Carol Burnett and just walked out. So I blame the shit because it was her fucking shit.
Well, I mean, that's fair is fair. She had
Right?
to own it.
So that is my brush with fame with
Such
Carol
an
Burnett.
LA story.
Right?
I mean, I lived in LA for 6 years and I had so many stories. I think I told I told the Dan Aykroyd story on here, right? I told that. He
No.
wouldn't let me out. He wouldn't let me get up and go to the bathroom at the movie theater.
Oh, yeah. Well, I don't know if you told it here or on the air.
I can't remember either. Well,
Yeah.
I'll give you the quick version. So
Right.
I went to 51st Dates. So this is when I was working for Sean Astin. I was his personal assistant. And he had another thing he had to go to in New York. And so I went in his place, which was amazing because I got to walk the red carpet.
Cool.
That was where I held up Scott Stapp. I feel like I told this recently. I
On
told
the
this
air. You
recently.
told this
I did
on
that,
the
yeah.
air.
Yeah. So Scott Stapp was very, very drunk on the red carpet, and I didn't want to be on the red carpet because I was like, I'm nobody. So I hid under him and helped hold him up as I was walking down the red carpet, and so he wouldn't fall over. He had no idea.
And you
Very
were a fan
stealth
of
of you.
Scott
I was
Stapp,
a
and you kind of
huge-
saved him
I
at that
did.
point.
Did he have
Yeah.
arms wide open?
He was like this, yes, arms wide open, and he just let me guide him down the red carpet. You're on one today. Look at you. But no, he had no idea. He was so drunk he didn't even know that there was some girl like lodged between his shoulders. But it was a cool moment. Anyway, so I get into the theater and I'm sitting next to Dan Aykroyd. I cannot tell you how much of a huge fan I am of him.
Right.
I mean, all the movies, but SNL. I was like a girl who never missed SNL. My dad died thinking I was going to be on SNL one day.
Right.
Obviously, I failed at that. But it was like my goal in life. So I'm sitting next to Dan Aykroyd. Adam Sandler's right behind me. Johnny Favreau's right behind me because I'm in Sean's seat, right?
Yeah.
So it's the premiere. It hasn't started yet. Nothing's going on. And I'm like, oh, I should probably get up and go pee. I don't want to
Right.
interrupt the movie, right? So it's Dan Aykroyd, me, and then a whole 20 seats, maybe, a whole line of seats. And so I'm just like, excuse me, sir. And I wasn't like, Dan, I'm a fan. None
Right.
of it. Because I never played that. Whenever I was with Sean, I was always like
Professional.
super professional.
Right.
To a fault. And I'll tell you that story later. But anyway, so I'm like, excuse me, can I get up and go to the restroom? He would not look at me. He would not reference me. He did not talk to me. And he did not move. He would not let me up.
Wouldn't even
to go to the
acknowledge
restroom.
the fact that, you know what, you should have just let out a rip-roaring fart. Say, this is what you're up for the rest of the fucking
I
movie,
know.
unless you fucking move your ass, motherfucker.
And it wasn't like he didn't know I was there. I tapped him on the hand. Like we
Yeah.
were sharing an armrest. And I tapped him on the hand and he didn't even reference me. So he made me get up and make 20, 30 other people the other way.
Oh, my God.
And I was mortified, but I was like, at 2 hours.
And he was on the aisle?
He was on the aisle.
All he had to do was stand up and
trust me when I say I was.
one step outside the aisle.
That was it. That was it. I was so tempted to just like lap dance it. You know what I mean?
You should have.
I really should have. If I had been Chasta at 42, I'm a lot more confident of a person.
Yeah.
I would now. I'd be like, fuck it. I'd just go for it. But
and fart in his face.
But at the
So your impression of Aykroyd was shattered.
heartbroken.
Hey, I have a Dan Aykroyd story, not as impressive though.
Was it
when
he
I
a
stayed
douche?
at the Sunset at Hyatt?
See, everything happens at the
Across
Hyatt.
the street was the House of Blues.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
And I was walking down the street, and Dan Aykroyd was running across the street and was almost hit by a car.
Oh.
Because he thought, I guess, everyone should stop for him when he fucking walked across the street.
Sounds about right.
Right?
Yeah.
And I went, hey, Dan, watch it. Someone's going to hit you.
I almost hit Dustin Hoffman. I told you guys. Oh, yeah. Okay. So was Dustin Hoffman the guy that said I'm walking here?
Yes.
Okay.
Midnight Cowboy.
Thank you. I couldn't remember that. Yes. So I'm driving through the hills. So when I lived in Hollywood, I had no money whatsoever. Like my entertainment was driving in my car around and looking for stars' homes.
Yeah.
So I'd always drive through the Hollywood Hills, like have my little map out and star stuff. I was such a nerd. And so I was going up looking for David Spade's house, which is when he threw a tennis ball at us.
What?
Yeah, this is all the same. This is all the same trip. We interviewed David Spade, and I told him this story, and he was like, "Oh yeah, that sounds about right." So, anyways, I'm driving and I'm looking for celebrity houses, and all of a sudden, this guy just walks. Somebody getting out of their trunk, stuff out of their trunk, looked like a gym bag, and he never even looked.
Doesn't look.
He never even looked. He just went boom and started walking across this road as I was like not even 2 feet from him.
Right.
I slam on my brakes, and he hits the hood, and we lock eyes, and I'm
Hold
like,
it. He hit the hood of your car?
oh, yeah. He didn't have a choice.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, I didn't hit his leg, but I definitely hit his arm because, we made contact. But he kind of went like that, if you're watching on YouTube, and it stopped. And then I locked eyes with him, and it was Dustin Hoffman. And I literally almost died.
And did he say?
He didn't say, which is such a bummer. I mean, what an awesome moment with that of him. So anyways, fast forward, find David Spade's house, and all these, they get hit constantly with buses going through.
Right.
And, this, and that was like my favorite thing to do. And so there was a bus in front of me and my car and like a bus behind me, and he just starts chucking tennis balls at all of us, at my car, at the
Really?
yeah, he was over. He was standing in his yard playing basketball. And he had tennis balls
had
right there.
extra tennis balls.
He had
the bus.
He just had them there. I don't know what he was doing. Maybe cleaning out his garage. He had a lot of balls around him. I'll say that. This is my second run-in with David Spade actually, and he just started chucking tennis balls. But I thought it was hilarious, and everybody laughed, and he laughed, and it was fine. So,
Right.
Last story because it is David Spade. Fast forward to American Pie. Remember
Yes.
the American Pie movies?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
American Pie 2. I could go on. I mean, this happens every day in LA. I have celebrity stories like nobody's business. But I went to the American Pie 2 movie premiere and met the whole gang.
Really?
Yeah. Jason Biggs, like everybody. Became friends with Jason Biggs. We spent the weekend hanging out with all these people. We went to Ashton Kutcher's house.
What?
This is
Get the
That's
hell
crazy.
out of here.
what year is it? Whatever. It was like 2003. Maybe I'd have to Google it.
If
I
you're
can't
going to
remember.
tell me you met Mila Kunis, I'm
I
going to
did.
have.
I did, but she wasn't with Ashton then.
Oh, my God.
She was.
Demi Moore?
No, he was actually with a really cute blonde girl who ended up dying, I think.
Oh.
Like some crazy, weird, tragic death. Anyway.
Hold it. That was the one who did the voice work for on the cartoons. I think she
The
was
blonde
on.
girl?
Yes.
Oh, Brittany Murphy?
Brittany Murphy.
Oh, no. Different.
wasn't-
This was
okay.
like kind of an unknown.
He dated another
unknown
girl who
I have
died
to. I have
very
to go back and look.
Brittany
at
Murphy was King of the Hill.
Right.
And
yeah,
I
was
loved
just gonna
Brittany
say.
Murphy.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, this was a girl that was like murdered. Like it was a. I'll have to dig up this story because
Two
I can't
women
remember.
that he dated. Very
I
suspicious.
know, right? I'm
Watch
just
out,
now
Mila.
realizing
I'm there
that
for
too.
you.
So, anyways, everyone who is anybody, and then a bunch of nobodies, me, were there, and David Spade was there, and he didn't have any pants on.
What?
And he had this long shirt with Animal from the Muppets
Right.
on the front of it. It was long enough to go down to like his knees.
Okay.
So it's not like you saw anything, but
Right.
he was blitzed out of his mind. And it was Ashton Kutcher's house, and he's hanging off the balcony. When we pulled up, Stifler came like flying through the car, like jumped through the car window because we were in the car with like Jason Biggs and
fucking love Stifler.
It was crazy. He's the nicest guy. I
Really?
can't even remember his real name right now.
Sean William Scott.
What is it?
Sean William Scott.
Sean William Scott. Yeah, he was so nice.
I just know him as Stifler.
It was.
And also,
Yeah,
hey, dude, where's my car or whatever the fucking name.
Yes.
But then Goon or the hockey movie. There's
I
a great
didn't see
hockey
that
movie.
one.
Yeah.
No, I don't know that reference, unfortunately. Anyway, that was just your casual day in being LA. Like, I got stories for days.
Stars all over the place.
Stars all over the place.
But I don't think any story beats the Lamont story with Little Richard.
Oh, please tell that story.
So I come back to my hotel room.
Was this before or after you met or ran into or smelled Carol Burnett?
This was before.
Okay.
This was before.
Smelled Carol Burnett.
Yeah. I walked back to my hotel room and at the Hyatt on Sunset. And you know what? It might have been a different trip. It was a different trip because I didn't have my girlfriend on that trip. I was by myself.
That's
with two
right.
winners.
Yes, that's
with
right.
two winners. And we just get blitzed. We had a murder mystery. Mm-hmm. And I am
I
so
love
fucking
this story
blitzed.
too.
I am so blitzed at this murder mystery. And they don't explain to us that we're part of a murder mystery. We are there to go to L.A. for Halloween. And it was a Halloween promotion at Knott's Berry Farm. So it was a big, big deal, right? So they say, and I guess because it was a Halloween promotion, they thought we were going to have this whole deal was a promotion to have dinner, and it was a murder mystery for Halloween.
That's so fun.
But they didn't tell us. So we just think we're having dinner with a whole bunch of people from around the world who have won this trip for Halloween.
Yeah.
And I'm sitting there, and the guy beside me, I did not know was the actor. And by the way, I'm fucked up at this dinner, right? And these two guys I'm with, they're fucking blitzed. And the guy beside me says, hey, and he supposedly was from Switzerland, okay? He was an actor from L.A. Now, everyone's looking at us like we're the actors because there's three of us. Everyone else is in pairs except the three guys from Canada, right? Because I took winners down with me. So as we're sitting there, the guy beside me from Switzerland says, excuse me, have you tried these strawberries? I go, what? Have you tried these strawberries? I go, no, I didn't try any strawberries. What the fuck is this guy talking about trying the strawberries, right? Well, that was a hint that the strawberries were poison. Okay? Well, it doesn't register with me because I don't know I'm in a fucking murder mystery. So all of a sudden, the guy beside me stands up and goes, and he's grabbing at his throat and fucking hunching over the table. So I go, oh, fuck. Well, my dad's a fireman and I know how to friggin' do the Heimlich. I go, don't worry. I know how to do the Heimlich. My dad's a fireman. I get behind him, and he was a little guy too, right? I get behind him, and I pick him up, and I'm boom, boom, and I'm racking. I'm just pounding at his friggin' stomach, and there's no strawberries coming out. So my dad goes, he always said it's better to break a rib. At least the guy will still die. He won't die. And I fucking start pounding. Now, everyone at the table, all the actors are just like, holy fuck, this has gone wrong. Oh. They go, hold it. We'll take him to the back room for the coroner, for the ambulance. Oh. So I'm looking and I go, holy fuck, that was fucking weird. The guy's choking on strawberries right beside me. They walk out of the kitchen. And apparently I might have broke his ribs. And they say, well, the murder mystery tonight has been ruined. We have to do it tomorrow.
Oh, my God.
That's the greatest
So they had
ever.
to redo the murder mystery, right?
Oh, my God.
So after this, I walk up to my hotel room. And as I'm opening my door, all of a sudden the door directly beside me opens up. And it's little fucking Richard. And I look like this and go, Little Richard? And he's not wearing any clothes. He's got a fucking robe on. And he goes, well, Bob Bambooey, Big Bamboo. He goes, how'd you like to come in for a drink? And I go, no, I've had enough to drink tonight. He goes, I insist you come on in here for a drink. I go, now I'm thinking, what the fuck fuck?
Yeah.
Little Richard is hitting on me. I go, no, I don't do that. And I went into my room. So that was my Little Richard fucking encounter
That's a
on
classic-
Sunset Boulevard again.
That's
Classic
iconic.
story.
It really is. A
Right.
lot happens at the Hyatt. It's the
Yeah.
Hyatt. I know exactly where that's
The
at.
Hyatt
That's the
on
Ryan
Sunset.
Hyatt.
They've changed the name to that hotel now.
Have they really?
Yeah, it's not the Sunset on Hyatt.
Oh, that's too
Anymore.
bad because
Yeah.
that was the Riot Hyatt that Zeppelin like threw the TVs out of.
Yeah.
And stuff. That's an iconic
Yeah.
place. Yeah.
Little Richard apparently lived there.
Oh,
He
wow.
had a room there, and it was like one of the top floors. So it was in a pretty good room.
That's
Except my
crazy.
next door neighbor was.
Were you
hitting on me.
flattered that you got hit on by Little Richard?
Well,
I would be. I'd take a compliment anyway.
Oh, fuck, I must look pretty good.
No, no.
I'm freaking hammered and
I
breaking
mean, he
guys'
was
ribs.
still Little Richard
Right.
back then.
Right.
Exactly. Yeah.
He was, as Lamont would say, little fucking Richard.
Exactly.
Yeah, you got to get it right.
Just
Yeah.
a little fucking Richard.
Yeah. All right, Tonelli, Huey, what do you got?
Well, most of I'm pale in comparison to what you guys have. I haven't really directly ran into anybody just at random.
Yeah.
But back in the day when I was working at our family drugstore, we used to have a ton of athletes come in who were customers at the drugstores. Whether it was
Anyone
my dad's,
come in for like herpes medication or anything?
Yeah,
God,
right.
No kidding.
whether it was my dad's store, Central Drug Store, 4494 Mission
Free
Street,
commercial.
Very commercial, yeah.
or my uncle's store, which is now closed. But we had a lot of, but we're talking, these guys are either dead or long time retired, right? So, but as a kid, they'd come into the store, you're like, wow, that's, Juan Marichal was a pitcher for the Giants. He's like a Hall of Famer, would come in, and Willie McCovey would come in.
Oh, wow.
Another Hall of Famer.
Yeah. I
And,
even know who that is.
And these are guys, this is back in the day when.
Were they buying
when
suppositories or anything like that?
I don't remember, but they did get prescription stuff. I know that.
Okay.
And I'm like, I don't know, 9 or 10 years old. So
Yeah.
for me, it was a big deal. But
Condoms?
I don't know. And, but that was when ball players would live in the neighborhood.
right.
Right?
Yeah.
And they would just shop.
Be normal people.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So a few of the Hall of Famers, Giants, a few of the 49ers would come in.
That's cool.
Yeah. Bob
When you
Sinclair.
were a kid, would you say something or ask them for an autograph or anything like that? Or did you just let them do their thing?
I had them autograph my baseballs.
Oh, that's
Yes.
cute.
So-
Your baseballs?
Still have the autographed baseballs with all those guys.
Those
So,
got to be worth
I
something.
have no
right?
idea. I got to find them first.
Oh,
I know they're laying around
Probably play
somewhere.
catch with them
I got to go
afterwards.
through my
Yeah,
border
right.
of the house and find that crap.
yeah,
Yeah.
you might want to dig those out.
But those are probably like the earliest, like big time things. I mean, with the radio gig, we've met a lot of people, right?
Yeah.
But randomly running into people, I lead a boring life. Although people think I'm Ben Kingsley.
Oh,
They do.
Thanks
That's
to Baby
true.
Huey,
That's true.
who spread that rumor when we were having dinner at or lunch at the Ivy, I think, in
he called
Los
TMZ,
Angeles.
didn't he call
He
TMZ?
called TMZ and took a picture and sent it. Look, Ben Kingsley's is seen with these guys
He's so
having
proud of
lunch.
that moment.
I
Yeah.
know. Tell that story, Huey. What made you think to do that anyway?
Because people had asked me if I was Ben Kingsley. Not then,
Earlier on in
but
the trip.
But prior
previously.
to.
We were at the Denver airport
Right.
on a layover, and Paul and I are walking over to get some food.
Yeah.
And we're cutting through the tables of people eating and stuff. And I'm following behind Paul, and he's walking ahead of me, and he's like finding a table. He sits down. I'm passing by this couple, and the lady leans over to her husband and says, "Oh my God, I think that's Ben Kingsley." And I'm like, well,
I've gotten that a few times.
You must have been in tears.
I just like,
It
oh my
wasn't
God.
like a one-shot deal.
I just
I
started
mean, I
laughing.
can see it.
So we sat down and I told them there at the table, "Oh my God, that people back there thought you're Ben Kingsley."
That's
And then
hilarious.
jump ahead. Yeah, we had
So
a trip.
then we were at the Ivy years later, and
I used to live a block from there.
from the Ivy.
Yeah. That's where I almost got hit by paparazzi because every celebrity you ever would imagine, Ben Kingsley very well could be there.
That's
no
why
question.
he was
That's
doing
why
Yeah.
he sent it to TMZ.
Yeah, I could see that.
I don't think they took the bait, though.
no, they didn't show
Nobody
up.
They go,
showed
That's
up?
not fucking Ben Kingsley.
Oh, that's too bad.
I was
That
so
would have been a
disappointed.
moment. That would have been a moment in time. Oh my God.
Have you ever been, other than Ben Kingsley, have you ever been mistaken for a celebrity? Is it just Ben Kingsley?
No, usually it's Ben Kingsley. And I don't get this one.
Yeah.
But recently I've gotten, like in the past couple of years, 3 times, Robert De Niro.
Robert De Niro.
No, right?
He's way older than you. How old is Robert De Niro?
He's, what, 78?
I could see the vibe. Like I could see
I have no idea.
You give off
There's
De Niro
no
vibes.
resemblance. He's got hair. The whole bit. I mean,
Maybe they thought you were trying out for a role as Ben Kingsley as Robert De Niro.
The story of Ben Kingsley.
Played by Robert De Niro. That's pretty great.
I don't get it unless they were thinking of Kingsley and said De Niro. Who knows?
Yeah. Maybe.
I don't know.
That's what it was.
But three times, though? I mean, what are the odds that it would happen 3 times?
Yeah, I don't know how
Weirdest
I
thing
would
in
take
the
that.
world.
That's
Chasta, what
hilarious.
about you? Have you ever been...
All the time, which is like the biggest compliment ever. So Reese Witherspoon. When
I love Reese Witherspoon.
Yeah, especially when she was in the Johnny Cash movie Walk the Line.
Oh, yeah.
'Cause
She had
dark
the darker hair. Yeah.
So that was, I mean, I've been asked for her autograph. People were convinced.
Really?
And we do have, because we're from not too far from one another, her mannerisms and my mannerisms are very similar. And she has the vein in the middle of her forehead that I have.
Right, but you don't have a chin shaped like an arrowhead.
I mean, kind of. Not as distinct as hers.
She is.
Hers really
Oh
comes
my
to like
God,
a distinct
right?
point.
She's hot. I love
her. So yeah, it's a huge compliment. So when I get that one, I'm like, oh my God, thank you. But I also have got Monica Lewinsky, which is which is just, I mean, she's not horrible looking or anything. But it's not the best compliment.
Right.
What about you guys?
I was going to say, for me, as far as fame, celebrity, first time as a kid was, what's that convention center over in San Francisco off 9th?
The San Francisco Convention
Is that
Center.
what it's called? No, but I thought there's like another name for it.
Moscone Hall?
Moscone. Are you talking about Moscone?
No, the brick building off 9th Street over there. It's,
that's the brick convention center.
See, I thought never mind. I thought you would know.
I can't believe the mayor of San Francisco over here. I didn't know. Yeah.
But there was a big, 30 years ago, there was a big trading card autograph event there, and Muhammad Ali was doing a signing there.
Oh, wow.
And that's my brother's all-time favorite athlete, boxer. He really wanted to meet him, so we were little kids, and my dad took us over there, and we wanted to get an autograph. I stood back.
Was that at the Armory, the National Guard Armory?
No. It's with a 9th Street exit.
Never mind.
And you take a left.
Whatever. Okay.
Wasn't
you're
the
getting lost
armory
in the
used
weeds.
for
Yeah,
porn?
exactly.
Yeah. By Slims.
By Slims. Oh, I know what you're talking about. Wasn't the armory used for porn? Anyway,
Yes.
Go ahead. Okay, that's what I thought. Go ahead.
So my brother,
Thought you were Ron Jeremy?
No, my brother and my dad were in line, and Muhammad Ali, he's at that point deteriorating from Parkinson's, but my brother sees him, and Ali makes eyes with him, and my brother's like shocked, but then my brother starts doing a little shadow boxing and footwork, and Ali sees it, and then he gets up, acts like he's going to come after Tommy, but he was like scared, but then Ali sat down. He was just messing with him. It just shows that Ali was still sharp. It's just physically he could not do what he
Or Tommy really pissed him off. And he wanted to
Yeah,
punch
right?
the shit out of him.
Exactly.
So, but no, Tommy got to meet Ali, get the autograph.
That's really cool.
But for us, we're leaving. We're outside on the sidewalk. My dad's like, stay here. I'm going to get the car. We're standing in front of a limo, and the limo's rolled down. I see a bag in there with the stitching JF. And I'm like, who's JF? And all of a sudden, I see this posse of people coming towards the limo, and my brother looks and says, oh, my God, there's Joe Frazier. And keep in mind, we're like 10 years old, 10, 11 years old. We've been very sheltered in Alameda. It's just, he comes up to us, and I don't know if he just thought we were waiting for him, but we were just waiting for our dad. He comes up, and he goes, what's up, blood? And that was like, we were like, what?
What is a blood?
What's the blood? What's
what-
the blood? Like, I'm looking at Tom. What's a blood? But he comes up and gives us like the little handshake thing, and we're like little kids. We're like, okay.
Oh my
He
God.
shook our hands, jumps in the limo, drives off. But I was like, keep in mind, we're from Alameda. We're 2 white kids. We're like, what's he calling us blood for?
That is hilarious.
But no, he was super cool. Just to meet him and stuff like that. So just to see the 2 icons of
In
the
one
boxing
day.
world in the same day, that was
Wow.
awesome.
That's pretty incredible.
Yeah.
Why do you look stumped?
I'm just wondering if anyone's ever said you look like anyone.
Oh.
Other than Chaz Bono.
I was gonna say, wow.
Oh, dude,
That's true.
come
People
on.
were saying that.
Wow, good.
He remembers that one.
15-year-old reference.
He's trying to get back at you for the Ben Kingsley.
Ben
Although I don't
Kingsley.
think that's a negative reference, by the way.
Yeah.
Thanks, Gandhi.
God, gee.
Damn.
Other than Jazz Bono, has anyone ever said you look like someone?
Not
No?
that I could think of.
You're unique.
Thank you.
Yes.
I'm trying
Yeah.
to think. No, I don't think it off the top of my head. No.
No? What about you,
I know
Lamont?
Lamont's gotten Tom Arnold in the past.
I've had Tom Arnold in
Right.
the past.
Oh, wow.
I will say this, though. When I was younger, and this is like a Canada reference. People used to ask me if I was Jim Kite, who was the defenseman for the Winnipeg Jets.
Right.
Because he was about 6'3", and I was skinny at the time, and so was he. But I would go, yes, I am Jim Kite, because I'd be at the bars trying to pick up girls.
I was just going to say.
Right?
Yes.
Well,
Yeah.
And the other day, the Wolverine photo, someone said Lamont looks like Paul Sorvino.
And he actually does. I Googled that.
Really?
Because I didn't. That was one I hadn't thought of. People said.
I don't see that.
Who plays Paulie Walnuts?
Oh, Paulie Walnuts. I don't know who played, but he just died.
Oh, he's gone?
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
wow. Okay.
But Paulie Walnuts, my hair was like fucking Paulie Walnuts. Like my bad supercut cuts.
It wasn't bad. It's never
No,
bad.
it was. Well, I'd let it grow out and it looked like Paulie Walnuts.
You just reminded me one last story, and it's quick. Vince Vaughn, who I love.
Oh, fucking Vince Vaughn. I love that guy.
You're going to love this story.
I've been told that before. by the way.
That's what reminded me.
Yeah.
I could see Vince Vaughn for sure. I would think that if I saw you on the street. I was at Benihana in Beverly Hills. True story.
The rice.
I was with my first husband, and we always went to Benihana, and we were at the bar, and I had my arm on the bar, like facing one direction, and I look over my shoulder, and I'm like, holy shit, Vince Vaughn is right next to me. And he just happens to turn around and we like lock eyes at the same time.
Right.
And I didn't want to be a geek and I didn't want to freak out, but he is one of my favorites. And he asked to buy me a drink.
Get out in front of your ex-husband?
He didn't realize I was with
that's some balls right there.
because it was super crowded.
Yeah.
There were a lot of people there, so he didn't realize. He just thought I moseyed up next to him, I guess.
You say, oh, sure you can. And my husband too.
This is what makes him cool.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, unfortunately, I'm here with my... Unfortunately, I didn't say unfortunately. I said, I'm here with my husband. And he was like, oh, get you both a drink.
Wow.
He bought both
See, now
of us a drink.
that's a
Good
classy
move.
kind of smooth
Nice
move.
pivot on his part.
He was a cool, classy
Yeah.
dude. But yeah, that was a moment in time for sure. You guys, we have breaking news, by the way.
What is it?
We have a phone number. We have a voicemail.
Oh,
cool.
the bat phone.
We have
There it is.
officially launched
Nice.
the Bat Phone. The Bone Bat Phone. That's what we're calling it. It was Lamont's idea, and I love it. And I'm impressed. I said last week I was going to set it up, and I made it happen. Look at this.
Right?
Making shit happen.
Nice.
All right. So the number is 415-995-7077. We tried for 1077. It was taken, so roll with it. 415-995-7077. The voicemail greeting is actually done by Batman, Adam West.
In heaven.
In heaven, obviously. So you have to call and listen. It does say in the greeting that whatever you say can and will be held against you in a court of law. No, it will be potentially on the air.
Used on the air.
right?
So just make sure no
Yeah.
last names, no business names. Same lick me wall rules, actually.
Right.
Apply.
Exactly.
But yeah, so if you want to call and hear our Adam West from heaven,
And leave a goofy message.
then you just might hear it back on the air on the podcast.
Tell Baby Huey who he looks like.
415-995-7077.
Good memory. Impressive.
It'll be gone in 5 minutes.
It's okay. It was there while you needed it. All right, you guys, thanks so much for joining us. Make sure you subscribe to 1077 The Bone on all the things, but most importantly on YouTube.
Yes.
No, subscribe to the YouTube channel. Give us a thumbs up, a like, leave a comment, and hit the notifications button.
I don't give a shit if people do that, but go ahead.
I give a shit.
That's how
We
we
very
grow-
much
that's how we
give a
grow the
shit.
channel.
And you can see Lamont's mug because I bought him his own special webcam and
Yes.
tripod. to
Although
get it.
there's a lot of shadows
I'm
here.
going to have
that-
to get lighting for him now.
Yes.
You are the Aretha of this podcast.
All about the special tripod.
That's
Yeah,
my
we'll-
nickname in college.
We'll end on tripod, exactly. All right. Bye, guys. Love you.